Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the May Oldham County Board of Adjustments and Appeals. My name is Larry Otterback. It's 9 o'clock and we are now in session. We have 4 cases on the agenda this morning, the last of which I believe is getting removed from the agenda. Is that correct? Correct. Okay, that is OC 25019. That is a conditional use permit for an owner-occupied short-term rental is being removed from the agenda. That leaves 3 cases this morning. One is a rear yard setback variance. Another is a conditional use permit and road frontage variance for a manufactured home. And then we have a maximum square footage variance. Those are the 3 cases we're hearing today. No others will be heard. The procedures for all 3 cases will remain the same. Here in a minute, I'm going to swear staff in. Our board secretary, Mark, will read the case. Staff is going to come to the lectern and give a staff report. There'll be a round of questioning by board members to staff, and when we're done with that, staff's going to take a seat. I'm going to call the applicant forward. You're going to come forward to the lectern, raise your right hand, state your name and address, and be sworn in. Justify your project. When you're done, there'll be a round of questioning by board members to you, the applicant. And when we're done with that, the applicant may take a seat. I'm going to call forward anybody that wishes to speak in favor of the application. Same thing, come forward to the lectern. Everybody speaking needs to be at the lectern. There's cameras and audio and all that at the lectern, so make sure you're here. But those that wishing to speak in favor, I'm going to call forward, come to the lectern, raise your right hand, get sworn in, state your name and address, tell us why you're in favor of the application. There will probably be a round of questioning by board members to that audience. When we're done with that, you may take a seat. I'm going to call forward anybody that wishes to speak in opposition to the application. Exact same process. Come forward, raise your right hand, be sworn in, state your name and address, speak at the lectern. There might be a round of questioning by board to you, those in opposition. When we're done, opposition may take a seat. There'll be time for rebuttals. That's going to start with the applicant. And opposition will follow for rebuttals. Final statements follow that with no new testimony. Final statements start with the opposition and end with the applicant. When we're done, I'm going to close the floor, open it up for general discussion among board members, and call for an up and down vote. Okay? Cell phones, please make sure they're off or on vibrate. If you need to use it, please excuse yourself from the courtroom. Just make sure it's off when you come back in. Board members, please make sure your mics are on. And with that, let's go ahead and swear staff in.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. Mark, you want to read the first one, please?
Oldham County Docket 025-013, asked for a rear yard variance at the applicant is LN Housing and Development at 7011 West Highway 22 in Crestwood.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Sandy Rigroden, Oldham County Planning. This case was heard last month and was tabled for the applicant to gain counsel, which he has, and he's here. So as a refresher, the proposal is an application has been filed requesting a rear yard setback variance at 7011 West Highway 22 Crestwood. The property is zoned R4 residential district and the land use is residential. It's 0.43 acres.
Sandy, let me pause just for a second. I'm not sure if now is the time or after. I think it's now. But this table or this case was tabled, as you mentioned. We need to make a motion to bring it off the table and
I'll make a motion to bring this off the table.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Sorry about that. Continue.
That's okay. There's no previous site history. The agenda was posted to the planning website on April 30th, 2025. Adjoining property owners notice mailed on May 2nd, 2025, and public notice appeared in Oldham Air on May 8th, 2025. Here's an aerial of the property and the zoning of the property and the surrounding property. The applicant is seeking a rear setback variance for a 6-unit, 2-story townhome-style apartment complex with individual garages. The required setback for the R4 zone is 25 feet. The requested variance is 1.52 feet, creating a 23.48-foot setback. Multifamily residential dwellings are permitted use in the R4 district. The current R4 zoning district is appropriate for this type of proposed development. The applicant was not required to go through the technical review process. However, we did solicit agency comments. 2 of those comments are the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet requested the structure be placed as far to the north as possible to maximize the separation between Highway 22, Parkwoods Road, and the first driveway. And the applicant will also have to submit a downstream facility capacity request to ensure sewer capacity. Here is the setback requirements for the zone. In summary, the applicant is requesting a rear yard setback variance. The rear yard setback is required to be 25 feet. They're requesting to be 23.48 feet, and the variance request is for 1.52 feet.
Okay, thank you. Questions for Sandy? Okay, thank you. And if I can have the applicant come forward, please. Good morning.
Good morning. Stephen Houston, I'm the attorney for the applicant L&M Housing. My address is
Move the mic.
10801 US Highway 42, Prospect, Kentucky. Again, I represent L&M Housing Development LLC, the applicant. I'd like to start off by saying, as an attorney, I'd love to see the rule change so that applicants don't have to have attorneys. But nonetheless, this is the exact type of development that the county should promote within the city limits, providing beautiful townhomes for much needed housing. This is a very, very tiny variance requested. And with that, I'll introduce the applicant, Representative Jonathan Martin.
Okay.
Good morning. Jonathan Martin, 8166 Dover Road, Shelbyville, Kentucky.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. If you want to continue?
I'd just like to say that MSD has granted us our permit to move forward for capacity. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, questions? Do what? Did you get sworn in? Oh, you stated your name and address, but you didn't. I apologize.
That's okay.
Sworn in.
No problem. Jonathan Martin, 8166 Dover Road, Shelbyville, Kentucky, with L&M Development.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Questions for Jonathan? Okay. Seeing no questions, thank you, Jonathan. You may take a seat.
Thank you.
Is there anybody here wishing to speak in favor of the application? Is there anybody here wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Board members, questions for anybody? Okay, I'll close the floor, open it up for discussion. It's pretty cut and dry.
He's not asking much.
That's right.
Right, and it allows proper integration into the local transportation network, so all for it,
Okay,
yeah.
My only gripe is that we're getting too many apartments in Oldham County, but that's beside the point.
beside the point, okay? Anything else? If not, I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve OC 25013, the variance of 1.52 feet, because it will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, and will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, and will not cause hazard or nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of zoning regulations. It also allows the proper integration into the local road network.
How'd you do the potential conditions of approval?
Sorry, I did not. Variance shall only apply to the application considered at the May 15th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing.
Okay, thank you, David.
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? It's been approved. Thanks. Okay, Mark, if you can read the next one, please.
Oldham County docket, Oldham County 25017, a conditional use permit manufactured home with road front variance. Is the applicant is Richard and Paulette Carey. The location is 1508 West Highway 22.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. John Hine, Oldham County Planning and Development Services.
I'm sorry, Mark, did the address that you just read was what again?
1508 West Highway 22.
Okay, all right, very good. I apologize. Go ahead. Yes, John.
The applicant is, an application has been filed requesting a conditional use permit with a road frontage variance for a manufactured home on a property located at 1508 West Highway 42 in LaGrange. The property is zoned AG1 and CO1, Agricultural and Conservation District, excuse me. Zoning AG1 and CO1 land use is currently residential and agricultural. The lot size is 76.047 acres. Site history: on the 30th of September in 1997, an access easement was deeded to a lot addressed 1512 West Highway 42. Though the other two lots immediately behind 1512 are currently owned by the same entity and appear to share access from the driveway, they have no deeded access easement and have relied upon verbal permissions from the applicant to access these properties via Mr. Carey's Road. The applicant has since stated that those permissions have been rescinded. For our case history, it was posted to the planning website on the 30th of April in 2025. Adjoining property owner notices were mailed on the 2nd of May, and it appeared in the Oldham Era for the public notice on the 8th of May, 2025. Here we have the parcel in discussion, and they'll bring in a closer view in a second. The zoning, AG1 and CO1. This picture is a little confusing, excuse me, but I was trying to show the length of this property. It extends all the way from West Highway 42 and to this adjacent property here, which is along Bluegrass Highway. So it's quite a long property. It's hard to get in the map photos. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to allow a manufactured home to be placed on the newly proposed Track 2. The property is in the zoning district AG1 Agricultural and CO1 Conservation. Section 020-040 requires manufactured homes, single-family detached, to obtain a conditional use permit by the appropriate Board of Adjustments. Section 260-280 applies to all manufactured homes proposed to be located on lots outside of Division 110T manufactured home districts. The applicant is requesting a road frontage variance for the proposed new 1-acre lot. Section 020-020 and Section 030-020 require lots size 2.5 acres and under to have 150 feet of road frontage in zoning districts AG1 and CO1. Section 350-040 grants the Board of Adjustments authority to approve dimensional variances to the comprehensive zoning ordinances. The proposed lot will have 0 feet of road frontage. Therefore, the applicant is requesting a road frontage variance of 150 feet. Here we have the new minor plat that was submitted shortly after the application was turned in. This is the 1-acre lot in question being divided from the residual larger tract. Here we have a picture showing what I was discussing earlier with the site history. 1512, and I believe the applicant is prepared to speak to this, was sold to a family member, and that sale included a deeded access easement. Since then, these parcels have been sold. I'm not sure the exact timeline on that, but you can see very clearly that there was apparent use from this road, and that's part of why I wanted to clarify that. But they have no deeded access that was found in our records. So only this one here currently has a deeded use of this driveway at the moment, as well as the main property. This is a rendering that I believe was included in your staff packets of the proposed manufactured home. here we have the ordinances and the road frontage for AG1, for the manufactured home for the CUP section, excuse me, and again for the variance of CO1. And this is the 260-280 that was mentioned as it pertains to the requirements for manufactured home construction type. In summary, the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for a manufactured home and a road frontage variance on property at 1508 West Highway 42. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for a manufactured home on the newly proposed Track 2. And the potential conditions of approval of that conditional use permit would be the conditional use permit shall only apply to the application considered at the May 15th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. The applicant shall comply with all regulations concerning manufactured homes outlined in the Oldham County Zoning Regulations, Section 260-280, and the applicant shall obtain all necessary building permits and inspections from the appropriate agencies before occupying the manufactured home. For the road frontage variance, the required road frontage would be 150 feet. The proposed road frontage is 0 feet, so the requested variance is 150 feet. The potential conditions approval of the variance, the road frontage variance shall only apply to the plan considered at the May 15th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. A minor plat application must be submitted to the Oldham County Department of Planning and Development Services to be approved at staff level, and a shared road maintenance and access agreement shall be prepared and agreed upon by all parties affected and recorded with the minor plat. Questions?
So is there actually another access route for, it's 11L and 11M, the Healing Place, or Healing LLC?
To my understanding, there is another access for them. They haven't obtained a road encroachment permit, which they would be required to do in order to utilize it. But to my understanding, there is.
Okay, it just looks like woods on at least the visual I have. That's why. Okay.
I didn't follow that. So there is another road access to where?
There's no road currently constructed. What they have is the ability to construct a road. They'll have to obtain a road encroachment permit before they were able to do so.
Is there a road at the back end of the property, at the CO2 area?
I think the applicant would have to speak to that. I don't think there is access through that backside there.
Okay.
I think we're all on the same track with this access easement, so we'll ask the applicant. Okay, any other questions for John? Okay, thank you, John. And if we can have the applicant come forward, please.
Before we do that, could you pull up the one that has the plats with that? I'll start there since that's, that one.
That one.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
And then. Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Valerie Shannon, Bramah Law Office, 401 West Jefferson, LaGrange, Kentucky, 40031, representing the applicant, the Richard and Paulette Carey Living Trust.
Okay, good morning. You don't need to be sworn in as a...
Thank you. I'll just real briefly address the question at hand. 1512 was originally platted off to their daughter. And there is a 40-foot easement that's granted to 1512, the plot that faces 42, from Highway 42. That home accesses that, and then the Careys access that. The two parcels immediately behind it, the -11L and -11N, when 11N was sold, an easement was granted all the way out to 42 on the west side of the property. And so there's an easement ability for those back lots. To date, they have, with permission, thank you. There you go. So you can see the easement, the way it's platted off runs along this side. So they have to date been using this this entrance right here to access this barn, but that's only been done with permission by the applicant, and no one has used this barn for years. This particular piece of property that has the 1512 written on it is set vacant for several years. It was being used as a, I believe, orthopedic rehab facility. And so currently the owners aren't using the property. So the only part that they use or would use would be the front 40 feet. So they have the ability to go to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet and get a highway encroachment permit for these back two places, so that we don't have them accessing this back part of the property any longer. There's no need for them to do that. Okay. Just press escape. Now that's basic keyboarding 101. Oh, thank you. So the front of the property that we're really talking about today is zoned Ag 1. The rear of the property is zoned CO1. The property's 76.05 acres approximately. Just to give you a better sense of where it is, and this is, I wish I could have done better with this, but I'm not too good at downloading that. But across the way is Golden Oak Farm. Just to the east of that is Bohannon Lane. So we're right there coming up into the Henry County line. The property has been in the family for generations. Richard and Paulette Carey decided that they needed to build a slightly smaller building, and they did. They built a beautiful cabin on the back of the woods that sits overlooking the CO1 the CO1 conservation zone and this beautiful pond. Their idea was to age in place. Their daughter built the property, built the home on the front of the property, and it was deeded off to her. Circumstances have changed. That property has changed hands, and the Careys are not getting any younger. And they're coming here today to ask you all to consider this road frontage variance and the conditional use permit so that their daughter can site a manufactured home closer to their home so that she can begin to take care of them as they age. It's their intention to age in place. So this is the house that sits at the front of the property that does not belong to the Careys, that was built by their daughter that shares the 40-foot access easement. So there's a concrete drive that comes in here off to the right. And no one's saying they can't use that. I'm not a very good photographer, but this is the other access point that goes back to the barn, which hasn't been used for years. And then this tree line represents where the actual access for the piece behind is located. This is looking down the driveway going towards the Carey's house and going towards where we would like to site the home. This is the site of the home. What you're looking at here It used to be a garden. This is the proposed, where we would have the septic field. This is what we've kind of planned in terms of siting that in. And then the manufactured home would sit here, facing up the driveway, facing towards US 42, with its back to this line of trees. This is the Carey's home. It's estimated that there's about 150 feet, maybe, yeah, between the back edge of the manufactured home and the front walk of the cabin. You can see in the background there where it sits looking out over the lake. It's beautiful. This is the view from the proposed site all the way back out to US 42. These trees are at the front of the property. So if we were to site this at the front of the property, we would have to not only take up some of this field, which is currently used for agricultural production, but also would have to be working with tree line, which is a natural barrier and keeps everything from being seen from 42 that's on the back of the property, in terms of installing driveways and septic systems. So we're asking to be able to come all the way down this road and put it back here on the edge of this field. You can see that here. We do have a proposed maintenance agreement in place that would be filed with the minor plat map. The Carey's home is right here on the site plan. And then just a slight difference in terms of how we were going to line this up. This would actually turn this way. So it backs into that line of trees. So we're asking for a conditional use permit to site this manufactured home. I can tell you that at this point in time, it is the plan for them to live in that home and to be able to take care of Richard and Paulette Carey. When the time comes, and hopefully that's a long time from now, the intention is to move this home to a lot that Ron and Mara have in Shelbyville, and for them to move into Richard and Paulette's home. So that's the plan as it stands right now. And I think they've already shown you the elevations. So we're asking for the road frontage variance to be able to preserve the view not only from the Carey's home, but to preserve this line of trees and preserve the view from Highway 42. This project is not going to be visible from the highway. I did have one minor change to the site map that you were given, that was given to me this morning. How do I do this? Just set it down. Okay. Turn this off, right? Okay.
Jay, do you do the overhead? Jay, can you turn?
Thank you. Okay. So.
Hang on one second. That takes a minute to get to us.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So you can see how that field comes around, and that's active agriculture. So rather than siting the home here, which was kind of the original plan, we've got the septic field coming here under the garden. We'd really like to back it up into this line of trees so that we can just get into that agricultural field, keep our septic field where we've sited it, and then put the house so that the actual entrance of the home is facing Highway 42. At this point, as I said, it's a generational farm, and the Careys are requiring assistance now. They're at the point in their life where they need their kids close to them, and that had been the original plan. The plans changed, and so they're coming to you to ask to allow to site this manufactured home on the back of their property next to them, so that they can be cared for by their oldest daughter. The placement of the home has been thought out to preserve not only the agricultural base of the property, but also the conservation areas on the property. There's no way to site it in the back because we've got a large pond back there. So there's no way to put it close enough to them in the back. We're asking for the road variance permit so that the project can be sited close to the carries. The whole purpose is kind of defeated if they're all the way at the end of the driveway and there's an emergency and they have to go all the way back to the Carey's home. This puts them very, very close to the Carey's. The home is not going to be visible from 42, preserving the scenic nature of the Highway 42 corridor, and it is going to be placed on the Ag 1 parcel, preserving the CO1 parcel. Did you guys have any questions for me this morning?
On this picture,
Yes.
where would parking be situated?
So at this point, the parking is going to go into this side area right here.
Okay.
In between. This is an existing run-in shed where they keep a tractor. They have a horse stall there. I don't think they have a horse on the property. Well, there is a horse on the property, isn't there? No. Okay. So they keep a run-in shed there, and so the parking area is going to go right here,
Okay.
off the driveway.
And do the owners of 1512 Healing LLC know about the revocation of the access?
Well, there's no revocation for their access to,
okay.
as far as the 40 feet coming into the house.
Oh, not the first parcel, but the other two.
Yes, I have mailed certified letter to them. I have not heard anything back from them yet,
Okay.
but that is in the works. And if necessary, you know, if they don't agree to that, I mean, I'm sure that the Careys, they're not coming that far off of that 40-foot. There's a 40-foot easement into the property. The mouth of that driveway is just past it. And so there's probably, practically speaking, if they don't agree to that, I believe that it's possible that we can enter into a road maintenance agreement with them for another 20 feet to let them get onto that driveway. But they can access it from, it's the same owner, so they could access it from where they have the easement, just change the mouth of the driveway.
Right. I'm more worried if they split off those lots, and I'm worried if they split those lots off in the future or something like that. That we don't want to have. I know they have access currently, but they have a way to get access, but
Yes.
they don't have the route at this point. So
Well, the current regulation is you can access 3 different properties per any given access easement. And so if we create the 1 acre lot, which is what you're proposing, that 1512, has access to this access easement. The new 1 acre lot would have access to this easement, and 1508, the subject property, has access to the easement,
That's correct.
exhausting your 3 allowable, okay? But then it leaves the question, well, what's going to happen with the other 2 that's out there, which is what you've said you've sent the letters to. But that is the question, is you're allowed up to 3 properties on that access easement.
That's correct.
Any other questions?
oh, has a septic plan been filed?
You all have, yeah, it's been approved.
Okay.
5. So again, Tate is asking about, you're asking about the access easement, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking how many lots this property's been divided into at this point.
This property, this particular property, the last conveyance on it was to their daughter at the front. I don't believe that you all didn't ever own the 2 behind that, did you? Hold on, let me ask.
Yeah.
That's the maximum you can have.
Well, no, I'm getting ready to ask you how we address that.
And then they have agreements for maintenance and all that. But you think with 3, you have to subdivide. That's my concern. I don't know why they don't make that one big lot. But that's what I thought that was one lot, but it's actually 3 separate lots by itself. sold off this way here, that was all.
That's what he meant.
That's the lady thought we were gonna put. We built the cabinet in '96.
Okay. So those two back tracks were sold around 1996, the ones behind.
The ones we're talking
Yeah.
about, the 11L and 11N.
Yes. And then,
All right.
then in 2001 is when 1512 West Highway 42 was sold off, platted off.
Oh, okay. All right. Can you put this map back up, please, or something
Sure.
similar to that map?
I think I can.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was going to say. You're good.
There you
we
go.
go.
That'll work. Okay, so 1512 and 11L and 11N, those are three separate tracks
That's correct.
which are completely irrelevant to this subject property other than this access easement. The applicant, they do not own the property, the 1512, 11L, and 11N.
That's correct.
Okay, so the subject property of 1508 is the only one in discussion that they own, and now we're talking about the access easement
That's correct.
and how to address more than three.
That's correct. And so, as I said, 1512 and 11L, 1512 has a 40-foot access easement off of Highway 42. You can see that driveway runs around along the parcel line. So they have access that their part, it's one owner, right? So all they have to do is take down the gate and move the end of the driveway so it comes out on the 40-foot access easement. They can simply take down the fence and access that property. The
right.
Carries have just been letting them do that as a courtesy.
Right, but for 29 years, right?
Pardon?
For 29 years, basically.
Yes. Well, that's a whole different issue.
So are there any other questions for the applicant? Here in a minute, we'll get in discussion, we'll bring staff back up, and we'll talk about, or Tate, and talk about how to address access easement in the multiple properties. So, any other questions for the applicant?
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. So before we go into in favor or opposition, John or Ryan, one of you guys, if you can come forward and talk to us about the access easement and how to address this.
As you stated, Mr. Chairman, only 3 parcels are allowed to share an access easement. So they would have to, the owner of 1512, the 1512 Healing, would have to go about creating some sort of road inlay, either from this side of the property or through this side of the property to access these.
Okay.
Otherwise, they'd have to seek a waiver to continue going down this road.
So they do need to create another access easement to service the other, the 2 of the other 3 properties.
Correct.
Okay.
Or request a waiver. What's the waiver process? What does that look like?
It would be heard at the Planning Commission public hearing, and they would have to get approval for a 4th, potentially 5th lot to be served from this access easement.
Okay, so how do we put that, if we proceed forward with this as an approval, how do we proceed with a condition of approval to make that happen?
All right. So this case alone deals with the 1508 parcel.
Correct?
I'm not sure we need to put a condition of approval that specifies what another property needs to do. It doesn't have anything to do with this case. If 1512 and all the other properties, which right now aren't even being used, they're vacant, they've been sent a certified letter by council, it's up to them to figure out at that point their access. They've got it off of that road, and they can access 3 parcels off of their access easement that is already They already have access to 42. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of confused on why we're making it so difficult. Because this parcel has to do with the one we're looking at here carved in red. I'm not sure why we need to do a condition of approval that will go with their land that has to do with someone else's property.
Makes sense.
I'm concerned about the violation of the subdivision rules. To subdivide, you've got 3 lots with one owner there, and they can sell those 3 lots off separate. That's 3 separate owners right there. Then you got the main tract, and then you got 2 other tracts there.
But
So,
as long as currently our rules, as long as you don't split them more than twice in a 5-year period, we come into this situation all the time. We've tried to bring it up to study review before to try to eliminate those minor plat rules, because we do. We create subdivisions through minor plats all the time. And none of these splits have occurred within the 5 years. She talked about 1996. She talked about 2001. It's 2025. I don't know.
you have a road maintenance agreement in place?
And we can put that in the condition of approval with the minor plat, that there'd be a road maintenance agreement in place. Yeah, so it's already in there as a condition of approval.
You say it is already in there?
I said it's in the condition of approval for this case, that a minor plat would have to be required to be approved along with a road maintenance agreement, but that's with this parcel. Because down the road, if something happens and the manufactured home does stay on there, there needs to be a road maintenance agreement in place for owners down the road if they're not family. And that's in there as a condition of approval.
I don't see it in here as one of the potentials, but we can add it.
Mr. Chairman, I may have added it to the presentation after consultation rather than to the staff report. I apologize.
Perfect. So here in a minute, we'll put that back up just so we can see it.
All right.
All right, any other questions? Tate, you good? All right, is there anybody here wishing to speak in favor of the application? Is there anybody here wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Staff, did we get any phone calls or email or anything on this application?
None, Mr. Chairman.
And if you can put the conditions of approval that you had up there. Board members, questions for anybody in the audience? Okay, I'm going to close the floor, open it up for discussion. Hang on. John, where is it?
These are the potential conditions of approval for the conditional use permit. These are the potential conditions of approval for the variance. And
Got it.
number 3 is.
Got it. Thank you. Okay. All right, the floor is closed. General discussion. This case is going to need 2 motions, one for the variance.
2 motions, right.
Yeah, two motions.
My only comment was for staff is, we need better maps. I mean, I had to look up the address on my phone to see exactly where this property was. The map on the front here just doesn't really cut it. So, Google Maps works fine for me, but it would be nice to have it laid out and kind of better where it's at in the county.
Okay. All right, anything else? If not, I'm ready for a motion, or the 2.
Motion to approve the conditional use permit for OC 25017 for 1508 West Highway 42. Because the proposed use is desirable to the community and will not conflict with elements, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan, based on the fact that the character and objectives of the proposed use and the potential impacts on the community and its surroundings are appropriate. The proposed use is compatible with surrounding land uses and the general character of the area, including such factors as height, bulk, scale, intensity, traffic, odor, drainage, dust, lighting, and appearance. The The proposed use will not impair the integrity and character of the zone if there are specific restrictions on location, size, and extent and character of performance. There are adequate public facilities available, such as including transportation, sanitation, water, sewer, drainage, emergency services, education, and recreation. The conditions of approval are, number one, the conditional use permit shall only apply to the application considered at the May 15th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. Number two, the applicant shall comply with the regulations concerning the manufactured homes outlined in the Oldham County zoning regulations, section 260-280. And number three, the applicant shall obtain all necessary building permits and inspections from the appropriate agencies before occupying the manufactured home. With respect to the frontage variance, there's a motion to approve the frontage variance that is normally required to be 150 feet to the requested variance of 0 feet because it will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare. It will not alter the essential character and general vicinity. It will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public. It will not allow unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations. Because there's strict application of the provisions of regulations that would deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of the land or would create unnecessary hardship on the applicant. The conditions of approval are, number one, the road frontage variance shall only apply to the application considered at the May 15th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments hearing. A minor plat application and survey must be submitted to staff for review and approval prior to the issuance. And number three, a shared road maintenance and access agreement shall be prepared and agreed upon by all parties affected and recorded with the minor plat.
Okay, let's take the first one first. We had a motion for the conditional use. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Second motion was on the variance. Do I have a second for that one? Thank you, Charles. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? They both have been approved. Yeah. 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 Well,
Pardon me? Oh, I'm sorry.
that's all right.
Okay.
That's all right. We got it.
Yep.
All right, Mark, you want to read the last one, please?
Docket number Oldham County 25018, Mark and Lynette Kokomore asked for a variance and lot size variance for 1801 Fox Trail Drive in LaGrange.
All right, thank you, Sandy.
Sorry here. Okay, so the property is located at 1801 Foxtail Drive, LaGrange, and a variance for maximum square footage. The application has been filed requesting a maximum square foot variance on property located at 1801 Foxtail Drive, LaGrange. The site is zoned R2 residential. The land use is residential. The size of the property is 2.364 acres. There is no site history. The agenda was posted to the planning website on April 30th, 2025. Adjoining property owners notice mailed on May 2nd, 2025, and public notice appeared in Oldham Era on May 8th, 2025. Here is an aerial of the property. The zoning of the property as well as surrounding. The applicant is requesting a maximum square footage variance to allow for a 2,400 square foot detached accessory structure / garage. The property is zoned R2 residential. The applicant states in the justification statement that they plan to construct the structure for needed storage. According to section 250-030, accessory structures on parcels ranging from 1 acre to 2.99 acres shall have a total maximum square footage of 1,800 square feet. The proposed structure is 2,400 square feet. Therefore, the applicant is requesting a 600-foot maximum square footage variance. The proposed accessory structure appears to meet the remaining standards of Section 250-030 accessory uses and structures. Here is a site plat of where the new structure is going to go. Here is a rendering of the new proposed structure. And here is the ordinance showing the 1,800 square foot maximum. Here's the setbacks on the property, which they will be meeting. So maximum square footage variance, maximum allowed square footage, 1,800 square feet. Proposed accessory structure, 2,400 square feet. The requested variance is 600 square feet. Potential conditions of the variance shall only apply to the plans considered at the May 15, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. Questions?
Okay, thank you. And if I can have the applicant come forward, please. Morning.
Hi.
Hello. Need you to swear in and state your name and address.
I'm Lynette Kokomore, 1801 Fox Trail Drive, LaGrange.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mark Oakmore, 1801 Fox Trail Drive.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth?
Okay, justify the project.
It's just a metal structure building for storage of trailer, boat, and potential fifth wheel.
Get in the mic.
It's a structure, a metal building, barn, whatever, in the back of our field. Storage for a trailer, boat, and potential fifth wheel in the future.
Okay.
Potential workshop, woodworking, things like that. The extra square footage is just so we can walk around the stuff and not have to be outside to walk around and go through doors and things like that.
Okay.
Are there any bedrooms or bathroom
Oh,
facilities?
no, it's just a
No.
storage. There's no living or utilities back there.
Okay. And are your plans to use this for business or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Potential use for a future fifth wheel, and I don't, sorry, I thought it was potential use for a potential fifth wheel. I don't want to be restricted on the size of the vehicle that I intend to purchase, and I don't want to have to just squeeze in there, have room.
So carrying on to David's questions a little bit, are you running utilities, water and electric out there?
No.
Not right, and at this current time, no.
Do you have plans to?
I plan to put electricity at some point just for lighting.
No water?
I don't think so at this time. Maybe just a spigot if we ever do anything. There's no bathrooms or kitchens or anything like that to be put in there.
So what is the hardship if this is not granted today?
It limits my future needs. If, when I retire, then I'm limited to what I have to do, be able to purchase or wherever to store.
Basically no hardship. We would put the 1,800 square foot back there.
It's tucked out of the way. It wouldn't be an eyesore. The color scheme would be aesthetically pleasing.
And you're meeting all other setbacks? This is set behind the primary structure? You're meeting setbacks on all property lines?
Correct.
Okay, other questions?
So basically what you're asking for is you're asking for more space purely for storage.
Yes.
Correct.
No more, no less.
Right.
No.
On this diagram, I don't know if you've
Yes.
seen it, but
Yeah.
there's it looks like a shed that's already on the subject property, is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
What size is the shed?
It might be 20 by 30,
Okay?
maybe.
So in addition to that shed, what you're wanting to do is in addition to that?
Yes.
Okay.
And if at some point I could look at, depending on the shape of the shed, I can take that shed down.
Hang on now. Yeah, so you're actually requesting a lot more, I think, and I'll have to get staff back up here in a second. The size of that shed is what again, the existing shed?
I'm not exactly sure. It might be 20 by 30.
Okay, so
Approximately, I don't
approximately
know.
20 by 30, that's fine. And then the new structure is what size are you requesting?
60 by 40.
Okay. And this is on 2 acres, 2.5 acres?
Slightly under.
So again, I'm gonna call staff up here in a second, but just so you know, you're allowed up to a total maximum floor area of accessory structures of 1,800 square feet. And you're allowed two maximum structures, which you meet the 2, but that 1,800, I believe, is what's gonna be in question here in a minute. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you,
So
guys.
I have a question. So I just want to confirm. So if you add the 2 structures together, the existing one that's 20 by 30, which is about 600 square feet, and the new proposed structure, which would be 2,400 square feet, the combination of the 2 accessory structures would be about 3,000 square feet. Is that correct?
Roughly.
Okay.
The original shed can be removed, so therefore
Okay.
that square footage could be
Okay.
transposed to the other.
I'm just clarifying
structure.
what we're dealing with. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, guys. Staff, if I can have you come back and address what we were just talking about? Am I correct in that, or?
The first structure is not on the plan. So that was not considered. If you look here, you see there's the, what? Sorry. That first structure was not noted on the plan.
Okay. All right. However, we are correct in how we're reading the regulation here.
Correct.
Okay. All right, very good. Any other questions for staff right now?
Okay. Did I hear him say that they were eventually going to tear one of them down? or
He said he
something?
could, and we can ask him about
Okay.
that in just a second, yeah. All right, thank you, Sandy. All right, is there anybody here wishing to speak in favor of the application? Is there anybody wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Staff, emails, phone calls, anything for application? Board members, I think, I'm going to question this, but actually, if I can have the applicants come forward again, please. So you understand what we were talking about. You understand the concern. This is far greater than I believe you're asking for 600 feet. We're actually double that now. You had stated you're okay with eliminating the 20 by 30 structure. Are you okay if we put that in as a condition of approval? And could you do that prior to construction of the new structure?
I can't do it prior to, no. I've had storage in there currently, and that's why I would need it to move to the other structure.
Okay? And give me a time estimate as to when you could have the existing structure demolished.
It just depends on whenever I can get the other building built, and I say 3 months, 4 months. I don't know how far out the builder is on the.
Could we say after construction of the new structure, 30 days after The new structure.
We could try to have it within that time, yes, for
I'm
sure,
just
by the
looking-
end of the year, for sure.
Okay. I mean, we can time this, and that's kind of the direction I'm going to go with this. I don't know about the other board members, but I would like to put a condition of approval on there to say the existing structure needs to come down. So I'm just trying to time bound that, right?
Sure.
So we can say, upon completion of the new structure, you've got 2 months, you've got 3
Yeah,
months,
yeah.
whatever.
Right.
Yes.
So that's all I'm trying to do.
I've got you can stay there. Just technical question. Is there a occupancy permit or like a completion thing that you guys do when something like this is finished that we could link it to?
So not really a CO, since there's not living space, but
Right.
there would be a final inspection. And my only thing I would say is, usually if a structure is going to be removed, okay, it is noted on, on that site plan that would be submitted with the building permit application. And then that building would need to be removed prior to a final inspection being completed. If we do anything after the fact, our leeway that we have to be able to do anything is drastically decreased because we don't have anything that we can say, well, we can't give you your final inspection until that building is removed. So if we say it's a 20 or 30 day or 6 month or whatever, we then put that on probably code enforcement, but then it's all going to have to be on our radar to communicate with inspections on when that inspection was completed and start this clock and then have Adam run out there every day. It's a pain when we do it that way.
What would you recommend?
I mean, I would recommend that it needs to be removed prior to a final building inspection on the new building. The building would have to be removed, and however that needs to be done, I would say if we put a condition of approval in there for that, it needs to say that.
Before the final building inspection?
Before the final building inspection is completed, that building has to be removed.
So I'm sorry, can they move stuff in the new building prior to the final building inspection?
I would have to ask the building inspector that, but I would say probably not. At least not a lot. It'd have to be enough for him to be able to do the inspection. So,
Okay.
and if not, the other option would be is to, they can have up to 2 accessory structures, but they're limited on the size. And right now if they keep it, they're asking for a 3,000 square foot group of accessory structures, which is 3,000 or 300 more than a 3 to 5 acre lot is allowed. So.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. All right, we haven't closed the floor. We're still in questions from board members. Any other questions for the applicants or?
Should we maybe table this and get specific dimensions of the building?
Which building are
Of
we
the
talking?
existing structure? Since it's kind of a rough estimate, it's not on the site plan.
They have said that they are okay. I hear you, and
Yeah.
that can be a motion. It'd be my recommendation to proceed forward with this. They've agreed that they can remove the existing building. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Size is irrelevant for me at this point. They said they can remove it.
Yep. That makes
And
sense.
and even at that, we're still exceeding the allowable amount. So they're still getting what they're asking for here, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, anything else for the applicant?
I guess what we could do, you guys, we'll discuss it.
Okay, you guys can have a seat. Thank you. Board members, questions for anybody else in the audience? Sandy?
I wanted to suggest one more condition of approval that was not on the presentation, but is in your packet. The applicant shall obtain all necessary building permits and inspections from the appropriate agencies before occupying the accessory structure.
Before, repeat.
It's in your packet, too.
Oh, yeah.
The applicant
Yeah.
shall obtain all
Yeah, that's-
necessary building permits and inspections from the appropriate agencies before occupying the accessory structure.
Okay.
I have a question for staff. So getting back to what Ryan was talking about, would it be appropriate for us to approve a total variance of up to 3,000 square feet of accessory units for up to, 30 days after completion of the new unit, and then remove that or change it to be only 2,400 square feet after that 30 days, or after 60 days, or whatever we decide on.
The difficulty there is we do a certificate of land use restriction with each of these cases, which gets recorded in the deed room, which means we would have to go back, get that one removed, put in a new one for a different size. I just think that's making it more difficult. I mean, if you all want to approve it and put on there that they've got 30 days to remove it, then we'll have to do what we do. I'm just saying that it's difficult for us to be able to gauge that, and we lose any leverage we have. You know, it's similar to when individuals are required to do landscaping requirements, but we don't do the building permit, which means we can't hold the CO. They go through the state for their permit, and we lose all of that leverage that we have. So we don't have any leverage to go back and say, oh, you didn't put 6 bushes in here like you were supposed to. It's sort of the same thing. Once we lose that leverage and they get the building permit and it's finalized, they technically at that point don't have to allow us back on their property.
Right. Well, then it becomes code enforcement.
Right.
Complaint driven.
But yeah.
I'm just trying to figure a practical way of, you know, not demolishing the existing structure and just putting a big tarp over it until they get the CO.
I mean, either way, and I'll say this from the staff perspective, that's a big request.
And
I'll put that on the record that's my stance on that is.
I'm fine with putting the final building inspection as the condition of approval.
Okay.
That's me, but, all right, where were we? Any other questions for anybody in the audience? Before I close the floor? Okay, I'm closing the floor, open it up for discussion. So, I mean, again, I'm in agreement with it. This is my thoughts. I'm in agreement with this. I would like to see the existing one come down as a condition of approval, and I would put it as prior to final building inspection.
Okay. Yeah.
That's me.
They can figure it out. Yep.
That's right. They can figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other discussion? If no further discussion, I'm ready for a motion.
Okay, motion to approve OC 25018 for 1801 Fox Trail Drive for a variance, maximum square footage accessory structure variance from 1,800 square feet to 2,400 square feet. The motion to approve the variance is because it's desirable and the community will not conflict with elements and objectives and policies of the comprehensive plan. Granting the use permit will allow proper integration into the community. The character and objectives of the proposed use and the potential impacts on the community and surroundings are appropriate. The proposed use is compatible with surrounding land uses and the general character of the area. And the proposed use will not impair the integrity and character of the zone if there are specific restrictions on the location. The conditions of approval are, number one, that the variance shall only apply to the application considered at the May 15th, 2025 Oldham County Board of Adjustments public hearing. Number two, the applicant shall obtain all necessary building permits and inspections from the appropriate agencies before occupying the accessory structure. Number three, the structure will not be used for any business purposes or any residential use. And number four, the second structure on the property, second roughly 600 square foot structure on the property, will be removed prior to any final inspections.
Perfect. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It's been approved. Okay, the last item, as we stated, has been removed, which brings us to last month's minutes. Are there any adjustments to be made to the minutes? If no adjustments, I need a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes from the meeting on April 17th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you, David. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are approved. Anything else?
So we will have a meeting next month. June 19th will be that date at 9 a.m. We will not have post-meeting training today.
We won't?
No, we will not. I will bring this to your attention. I know this is short notice, but I did just get this not too long ago, and I can give anybody a copy of this if they want. But CAECO is doing a Leadership Institute 2025 Planning and Zoning class, which is next Wednesday if you're not doing anything, and you want to drive to Frankfurt for a class from 8 to 5. It is... They are pretty good classes, and it'll get you all your training hours, so you don't have to be bugged by me anymore for any of your continuing ed. So the agenda is a class on the 2025 Kentucky Legislative Overview, renewable energy solutions, the do's and don'ts and maybes of floodplain management and protection, class on climate change, and then what one sounds really fun that I'd like to go to is I'll take subdivision rules and regulations for $200, and then talking transportation. So if anybody is interested in that and they don't have anything to do next Wednesday, get with me and we can get you signed up.
I'd like to at least get a copy or email or something, just so
All right.
I have it. Thank you. Anything else?
Will they do a recording of that for like a?
No, they don't. They do these pretty, I won't say frequently, do them 2 or 3 times a year, so I'll keep my eye out. I just know
thank you.
this one's fast notice, so sorry about that. But
Okay. Anything else?
So we are gonna meet on June the 19th.
Okay, I need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, meeting adjourned.